Welcome back to the A Zone. Tonight we're going to be talking about a couple major matches that Matt shot recently and how those went and what he thought about them. And we're also going to be talking about what we'd like to see as far as cultural type things go at major matches in the future. So let's just jump right in. Matt, what are the major matches you shot recently?
My last two major matches for the year were the 2022 Carry Optics Nats and also North Texas Open, which is the third time running for it, I believe. So let's just jump straight into 2022 Carry Optics
Nats.
So
the Nats was first. So what do you think about that one?
It was a lot more smoother ran for a second year in a row over at Talladega. I think for the most part, shifting over, for example, the side and bay to a completely different range completely alleviated any accidentally heard shots by the timer. Because at last year's Nats, they had the test bay right in the middle between sections A and B. And so if, let's just say the RO was being careful, it would pick up shots sometimes. But what they did instead, they maintained the vendor area there, but they also put two side matches, one of them held by Beretta, the other one held by GX Products and Henning Group. Henning Group was whoever had the fastest build drill. Congratulations to, what's the guy's name? I forget. He's a cop. He's a cop out in area 2. And then slammed a 123 build drill with a carry optics gun.
Sounds fake.
Well, it's on video, so it's real.
I've seen it. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, and then Mason Lane slammed down the Beretta side match, which was basically like a variation of a steel challenge stage, which honestly kind of fun. You got to try different things. Overall, the match itself, the actual main match, it had a variety of skill. And then there was some things where it's I'm not so sure how practical this is. We had something that initially looked like a Cooper tunnel, but it was actually all the bars on top were hard screwed. So if you just stood up incorrectly in the wrong spot, you were going to smash your head in. So a little bit of hazard. And then we had one all steel stage. Some people liked it, some people don't. Kind of reminiscent of what's it called, Pro-Am. It's something different that a lot of people are used to. Some distance, some swingers, that kind of thing.
Did they have a bunch of... Sorry, go ahead.
No, go.
I was going to ask, did they have a bunch of doubled up bays, or did you feel better about in that regard this year?
Let's see. There were 2 doubled up bays in section A. I know there was 1 doubled up in C. I don't remember about B. There were 19 total different stages, so I think section B didn't have any. And it's because of the sheer amount of larger field type courses in there. So
they didn't do a bunch of box to box shooting in some previous matches.
Yeah, not as much box to box, and I think that was based on some feedback.
Yeah, the box to box isn't my favorite.
I don't think it is for anyone, but there was 2 stand and deliver stages that they weren't heavy on points, but you could definitely lose your class or the match overall in those.
Did they run any stages that were going to show up as classifiers?
No.
Oh, that's surprising. That was kind of a thing for
They're doing that classifier thing where they publish them publicly, and so they're not taking data from Nats this year. They're taking random club data for the 22 series, potential classifiers that we know they're just going to use regardless.
Yeah, well, potential classifiers that, if I remember, there weren't any measurement details that were given or anything.
Yeah, there's surely no way this could go poorly, but that's a different topic.
Yeah. Yeah, let's take the top 10 B class guys, because that's all who's shooting them.
Yeah.
Make that the highest factor.
But overall was a lot smoother. And also
porta potties.
Yeah.
How many stickers porta potties?
Actually, no.
I was about to say, over the course of the 3-day match, how many stickers were you able to place in all different porta potties?
Every single porta potty had 0.
What a And
People like Tim is what that means.
Yeah,
That's good.
apparently a lot of people like Tampa Timmy, and if he
That's
did
good.
see one, I guess he scraped one off. I don't know if it was staged or not, but whatever. Yeah.
Well, good. It would be a shame for someone to get DQ'd over that.
Yep.
Food. Was there enough food at the award
So-
ceremony?
Yeah. Speaking on the topic of food and the award ceremony, I don't know what people were complaining about on Instagram because all the complaints I saw were from people that didn't attend. Because I was the last squad to leave because there was a whole bunch of arguments on my squad with one RO, and then there was also an arbitration regarding something, and my squad ended up being the last one to leave, like about 30 minutes after the second to last squad. So I get to the award ceremony over at International Speedway of Fame or whatever it's called, and there is still enough barbecue that JJ still had already gone for seconds. So like if you had gone,
Is that why they ran
That's
out?
why there's no more food left.
if you didn't get food after me, that is your problem and your fault entirely. Because I was the last squad to arrive.
I feel like I need to ask you the real hard-hitting questions, Matt. Did you rent a golf cart?
No.
You're not
No.
living, Matt. You're not living.
Well, it's not my fault.
Well, so how much free federal ammo did Jake give you to say that there was enough food?
0. Jake did not pay me.
Saying it all
Oh,
for
Jesus.
free, man. You're worth more than that. I'm just kidding. Please don't ban us.
Okay, so back to the match. Were there any like weird? Oh Jesus! Were there any like scoring discrepancies or anything controversial at all with like RO's calls or anything?
From what I saw, not really. Pretty much all the RO calls were on point. The only thing that I didn't like was one stage that had 2 strings where you shot all the targets once, you have some running around, and then you also reload strong hand only. String 2 was pretty much the same thing, except after the reload you do weak hand only, and you can only imagine how many GM make readies happen on that stage.
You mean like twice, right?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but like GM readies were not a thing at IPSC. Like that didn't fly.
It's got a totally different, like you're not, is IPSC the one where you're not allowed to take a sight picture either?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
you
there's
show
definitely
up, but
different
you're-
rules around that.
Yeah,
you
different
kinda just
different
expect
rules,
it to
different
go.
culture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Amer-
anyways,
Americans, we like to take our time.
This is Matt's episode, so.
Calvin
Yeah,
just
wait-
remembered that from a totally different night because we definitely didn't record the last 2 episodes back to back. So just so
No,
clear.
that's silly. No one would do that.
That would be weird. Anyways.
But simply put, overall, like the match went pretty well overall.
That's good.
Wait, before we leave this, is anyone going to keep track if Calvin still has GM make readies after shooting IPSC?
My GM readies are not any worse than anyone else's.
I don't think yours are that bad. The only time I've ever, and I was gonna give you a hard time on this, but the only time I've ever remembered one of yours was the classifier that bumped you to M in production, and you took such a long make ready, but then you just destroyed it, and I was like, yes, like.
Well, it was so cold that day. My fingers.
I
were, like,
remember,
frozen.
yeah. But I was standing there and I was like, he better just rail on this thing if he does this long of a make ready. And sure enough, you did.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah, that was cool.
So North Texas Open, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
So what's the contrast between that match and Matt's?
Let's see. Since we're also putting feedback basically through a podcast, there were some things that were interesting, but honestly, the match was a whole lot of one-way tracks. If you didn't do it one way, you weren't either going to make time, or basically you dose yourself if you weren't running it one specific way. And there was also a lot of mirrors, basically stages that were mirrored on itself, or there was a pair of stages that you basically just flip it. You just reflect it again. And
Like two separate stages.
Two separate stages,
Oh,
but
wow.
they're practically the same.
Sheesh.
But
And there was also a stage that was practically ripped out of 2011 Open Nats. So it's like, okay, no originality that a lot of us come to expect. So
I'm impressed you even could recognize a stage from 11 years ago.
yeah, I wouldn't have recognized that.
Connor, let me put it this way. I am part Spaniard, which means and if you know anything, especially your fiance now who's Hispanic, she will pull up anything from 10 years ago. Okay, so that's how you know.
I'll let you know once I've known her for 10 years if she starts pulling that out of her back pocket on me.
But yeah, like you see a video and it's like, hang on, this kind of looks a little bit familiar. Hot Shots has a video on YouTube of JJ running practically the same stage, and it's like, yeah, there it is.
So because it was a national stage from 2011 or whatever, did that make it better than the other stages?
It was one that was the most different because it was actually asymmetrical.
Oh, so the rest were all symmetrical?
The rest were either symmetrical or linear.
Oof.
So, let's say aside from stage quality, which we can come back to, what did you think of the rest of the match? Which I realize stage quality is probably the most important thing, but let's say just everything else.
Logistics, pretty much everything worked out except lunch. That's kind of like the nature of one-day matches. So
you're saying that you just didn't get lunch because you were trying to focus on the match, or what do you mean?
My group ended up getting lunch last because all the squads were moving ahead of schedule, and then there were some squads that ended on time and then went to lunch properly, and so my squad ended up getting lunch last.
Oh, okay.
So anyone listening to this in the future that's trying to squad with me, that wants to squad with me, just be aware you're probably going to eat last no matter where you go.
Does that mean you're the slow one?
No, it's not me. Believe me, my make readies are like under 20 seconds. So
I'm just kidding.
Yep.
It's not me. It's everybody else.
Yes, that is true, especially when I go for all-time champ.
Boy.
So, as far as officiation goes, how was that at NTXO?
My squad didn't have any issues, but we've heard horror stories.
Oh, go on.
Yeah, are you willing to say what they were? Because I haven't heard anything.
One guy apparently got kicked to open for having more than 10 rounds in his mag. So
that's good. If he actually did.
If he did, we didn't have any like actual confirmation of that. But I don't know.
Did you see that happen?
There's a video online, isn't there?
There is a video online. I guess like the best officiation came from Chrono.
I don't know if that's a good thing. That sounds like a bad thing.
It was the time I was like, okay, this art is cool.
Well, so if someone got kicked to open for that reason, but they didn't actually, is that what you're saying? You think they were in compliance, but they still got kicked open?
I think they were compliant and then because we don't have a video review, or I think because the person actually also reloaded multiple mags on the stage, I think the RO was like, yeah, I can't really confirm this.
And see that, I think if I can interject my opinion, that's kind of like an RO cultural issue, is that like if you're gonna screw someone that hard, like if it's a DQ or bumping them to open, you should probably be able to confirm it, you know? Like
yeah, I don't think so. You make calls that you're not 100% sure on.
Yeah, it's like if you come close to the 180, then that's not necessarily breaking the 180. So if you're going to say someone broke the 180, you better be like actually sure they broke it, because they're going home because of that call. So you know what I mean?
So,
like I don't like the whole like, oh, we can't confirm it, so sorry, you're bumped to open. It's like, no, if you can't confirm it, then he should be fine.
I feel like if the call doesn't come like right on the spot, like it's fake. If somebody has to be like, oh yeah, did you see that? It's like, no, shut the fuck up. You didn't see anything.
Yeah, and like if you're not sure and you actually are acting in good faith, then obviously don't make the call, and then maybe mention something nicely to the competitor, be like, hey, I'm not sure, I just saw this, use this information how you will. Because like you shouldn't send someone home, or bumping them to open is effectively sending them home. Like you shouldn't do that if you're not absolutely positive about it.
Yep. So aside from the match itself, I actually want to talk something about squad culture. Don't be an ass.
We need names. We need names.
I'd like to say names, but the only thing I'm going to say is.
Are you talking about us?
No. This ain't y'all. Y'all are cool.
That's like I'm talking directly to my co-podcasters.
Yeah. I will say, don't be an ass. Go actually help reset and tape. Like I get it. Some you may be shooting open or single stack, and you need to take care of the perfect creations from John
practice score. This narrows it down.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah, maybe you share a last name, but don't be sitting in the back and like, oh, I need to brush down my mags and I need to jam ammo. Set your stuff down, paste the damn targets, reset some steel. Like, don't be an ass.
So this is where the benefit of switching off pasting and shooting comes in.
Yes.
Where you get to focus on one thing the entire time, and then you focus on the other thing the entire time.
Yeah. Now, let's just say that system wouldn't work here in the U.S. I think having the ROs designate. Speaking of which, that was actually something over at Nationals. If you had steel on a stage, usually it was the last 3 people in the squad that got designated for steel. So I think maybe for some local majors, you could ROs could designate, hey, you, and you're going to reset steel. The rest of y'all are going to be pasting targets, that kind of thing. That could actually help culturally with the current situation of U.S. practical shooting culture.
Honestly, if you designated 3 people, you could probably have those 3 people reset the whole stage pretty quickly.
Yeah.
If it was if you knew it was your job, because otherwise everyone just kind of, I'm going to go stand by a target with a paster in my hand and wait for the RO to walk by and score it. So if you have like 1 or 2 people just literally following the RO pasting things, you wouldn't need more than 1 or 2 people.
Yeah, and honestly, with the amount of money that major matches typically pull in, you could buy or replace paster guns for your stage. Like have 3 paster guns and then have a couple of designated people for steel. Boom, you could get the stage redone in about 2 minutes. And then add on an additional 20 seconds per activated prop.
Yeah, that'd be a nice way to improve. Well, so we talked about the other stuff other than the stages, and we talked about the stages. So it sounds like the stage quality was like the big disappointment for you.
Yes.
It's not disappointment. There's just more opportunity for improvement.
I will say that at the match in the past, I was disappointed in the stage quality. I did not see it as an opportunity, frankly. But it is an opportunity for improvement. That's true. Looking on the side.
If you are B class or below, this is the match to go to because all cash payouts for classes are the same.
Oh. Well, shit. Let me go get my me classified in, I don't know, L10 or something.
Will still be A.
But no one chooses L10.
Yeah, but it needs to have at least like 5 people.
Oh, okay. I'll just be A.
It's like either 5 or 10 people, whatever the minimum is for the division to be recognized. So single stack against Randy Rogers.
Okay, that's doable.
So I think it's easy to crap on bad stages. What do you think? Like, if you were gonna offer like polite, constructive criticism for the stages that you shot, what do you think you would say?
I think, considering the downfall of the match was definitely stage design. So for the past 2 years, it's been the same stage designer. The first year that we ran it, it was, if I remember, it was multiple, but it was things that we had already previously run in local matches, but just swapped around a couple of details, that kind of thing. There would need to be an actual invitation for stage designers, multiple stage designers, and I would say at least 4. That way, it's about 2 or 3 per person, and you have multiple ideas. They can pull from multiple resources, but it needs to have a degree of originality at least.
Well, and more specifically about the stages themselves, I was thinking like if you walk up to a stage and it takes you 15 seconds to be like, this is the one and only reasonable way to shoot this stage, that kind of takes a big interesting part of shooting the stages out of it, you know. Like sometimes it's kind of nice to walk up to a stage and be like, wow, I have, you know, maybe 1 or 2 or even 3 realistic options of how to do this.
And at that point, it's the match director saying, well, why aren't you volunteering for it?
Why
Well,
aren't you
yeah,
volunteering for it?
fair enough, but I'm
Is
just
it
saying
though?
if
Is
we
it
were
though?
offering,
$200 matches. Is it a fair point?
well, we can argue that too, I guess. But I'm just saying if we were going to say, you know, because like sometimes I'm bad about this, where I'm like, yeah, those stages are trash. I'm not going back there. In fact, I'm bad about that a lot. But like if you try to offer like, you know, this is rather than just being like these are all the reasons they're bad, I'm thinking like what if we gave some ideas of actually how to do better? And one thing for me, the big one is I don't like walking like if everybody across in the whole match across all divisions shoots pretty much the exact same stage plan, then that's not wildly interesting to me. You know, like it's kind of fun being like, oh, how are you going to shoot this stage? Maybe I want to do this. Maybe I want to do that. Like that's part of the fun of shooting a match for me. And being able to like leverage your individual strengths and weaknesses based on what you choose to do. Doesn't have to be like a super complicated stage. It just, you know, providing some options to shooters is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Were there a lot of different skills tested at this match? Like, I
No,
know
it
you
was,
said like this.
quite frankly, no. It was just hit the position right and shoot alphas as fast as you can.
Okay, so was there not a lot of like opportunities to find like shooting on the move or flow and stuff like that?
There was a couple of stages of that, but like everyone's pretty much running the exact same plan. So
Okay.
it's not really interesting. It's just who executed it the best. Which I guess as a combined overall, Max Leo Grandis happened to be the guy.
Well, and Dazzy shot right behind him in carry optics too, right?
If you consider 5% right behind, yes. But,
yeah, but he
I mean,
was using a
rifle
pistol.
versus pistol, but yeah.
But yeah, so that's a pretty fantastic performance from our local hero. Well, anyways, guys, I think we talked. Oh, okay. So next little related topic. Given these 2 recent matches, what do you think you would like to see as far as match culture, match design, things like that going forward, either in the area or across the U.S., related to major matches specifically, I guess? Or I should say, is there anything we haven't already brought up?
Coy, do you mind talking first? I'm a little bit brain dead.
Huh?
If you've already said everything you can think of, that's fair too.
Now that already said it. I don't have anything to add because I feel like all of us swing hammers and have design stages, so we know the things that are like not going well. But getting like people that are super interested in like the shooting challenges, it's like kind of rough for matches. It's can't just like can't make people randomly good at designing stages.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like one of those things that needs to be a meritocracy. Like you don't have the average person making decisions on like, I don't know, important stuff for what our government does, or you're not supposed to. So like, why would you have like the lowest common denominator making decisions on our stages in USPSA?
I really
Yeah.
hate to be the bearer of bad news here, but you're wildly overestimating the state of our government.
Not supposed to. I didn't say it's not happening, but like
Calvin, in
Okay.
about 10 seconds, you're about to have the FBI in your door.
Oh jeez.
He said while holding a rifle.
This is a weapon of war.
Oh God.
It actually is.
Right, I'm cutting that part. Well, yeah, I think after thinking about it, I should have thought about this before I asked the question, but I think I've pretty much said what I have to say about this as well. So Matt, did you have any ideas that you haven't already mentioned?
Splitting up duties that way, it's not all power under one roof. If you're the match director, like, hey, can someone help me out with like figuring out catering of like the match lunch or whatever? I need someone to help figure out schedule. I need volunteers for stage designs, and also figuring out logistics of how we can improve ROing and also the competitor experience.
Oh, I was gonna bring up, they do have that stage library thing now on the USPSA site. I think that I haven't really looked through it, so I don't want to.
Let's put it this way: there's about
soon.
15,000 approved stages for major matches that are in there. So
holy crap.
So like
That's a
take
lot.
or like 15,000 plus. Like take a look, and then try to draw some ideas from there. Like either if you have, let's just say like a 3D stage builder kit, or you draw everything in what's it called, SketchUp, or even PowerPoint. Like,
well,
try something.
Were the stages you saw on there any good? I actually haven't looked at them yet.
Which in the
like if you just start flipping through stages in the stage library, are they mostly good?
I'm about to find out.
So yeah,
I mean, like it'll have national stages, it'll have area stages, that kind of thing. So like pick out things that have elements you like, and then also things that you need to practice on, and then start designing from there.
Yeah, so
I don't make stages with stuff I need to practice. I don't make stages with stuff I'm good at, so I can smoke everybody.
Well, and exactly. I think I would caution against picking out little elements of the stages on there and making your own stages from little elements, because I think it's really easy to pick out elements from 5 different stages and put them into one stage that sucks. So like I would say kind of the reason there's a stage library is you would maybe take like the completed stage out of there. Or maybe I'm misunderstanding what you were saying, Matt, but because I feel like someone will be like, oh, a swinger, that's cool. Oh, a giant wall of barrels, that's also cool. And they'll start, they'll put 12 different things into one stage that's terrible.
I'm not saying that. Just like pick, I don't know, 3 elements.
Yeah, so I think
so unloaded start, uprange start,
all mags on barrels. Yeah. those are the best stages. You want to always do those. But yeah, I think I'll reserve judgment until like I've seen some of these stages from the stage library. But if the stages in there are pretty decent, I think as a nice change, that's actually something pretty cool that USPSA did.
There's a lot of good ones in there.
Good, that's awesome.
It's just sifting through all the different pages that have stages.
Yeah.
If I remember, like the pages go up to like 2 into 13 or something like that.
Yeah, this interface sucks ass.
Okay.
That's not too surprising, I guess. But
I might just steal some Ep15 stages. That might be fun, actually.
The point is that it's a starting point.
Yeah.
They should have a way that you can press a button and get a random stage. So like if you don't have anyone that makes really fun stages at your club, you just get on there and press random 5 times or 6 times and print that out, and those are the stages you're going to build.
Coy, it looks like you have something you want to say.
Oh no, there's nothing else.
So, hey, you guys seen that, like the AI art, AI generated art?
Yeah.
What if we had AI generated stages?
Have fun programming that, but yeah, I would actually be interested in that.
I'll just be, I wonder what that would look like.
I'll send you some links to some Python tutorials.
Okay, sweet.
I was gonna say, I can't get the people at Match Help to like load the match onto Kindle Fires without getting mad and punching the screen. So I'm pretty sure nobody's going to AI generate stage plans or stage designs.
Was that it for the night?
Yeah, I think
so.
that's all I got, boys.
So
We're
would you
gonna have
go
to like
again? NTXO.
remarket ourselves because I think everyone forgot we exist. All 12
Yeah.
of our listeners.
Well, that's not my fault.
Our 12 listeners really like us, though.
Yeah, they're big fans. A couple people, they're all local people, so like they all know us already. But a couple people have told me at local matches that they enjoy it. And by a couple I mean like literally I think only 2 ever. But it's very nice. So if you're one of those people, we actually appreciate that, or at least
I get people who
Thanks,
DM me
Mom.
and tell me they listen
Yeah.
I was actually approached at National and was like, "Hey, I kind of enjoy the podcast." It's like, "Who are you?"
That's
I mean, you
cool.
guys just- Who said thanks, Mom? I can't see.
It was
Koi.
cool.
Boy. You have supportive ass parents. My parents do not.
Said that like a true Asian.
Yeah. I'm wasting my time in my life by doing all this.
I mean, probably not wrong, unfortunately. But
That's true.
sure, it's fun.
Oh God, make it end.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you made it this far, you're better men than we are.